Welcome along, everybody, to RSF1 Div 2 Round 4 of the season, and we are in Silverstone, a home race for a majority of the drivers, and also Round 4 of our season to see where this championship challenge brings us. With the way the last two rounds have gone, we have Owen, Lem, Salt and Pepper, Slicks, Adam, and Hush, all within a 13-point margin, the top 6 in our championship. You gotta wonder, with this circuit and the way things have gone in the past so far this season, how will things swing in the top of the pendulum tonight for RSF1 Div 2? Alongside me is RSF1 Invade. I am Ryan Searles. We're both Tier 1, or I should say Div 1 drivers. But what we saw with Div 1 Invade, it has to beg the question, will we continue having these DRS train races after our 100% race in Austria where we saw a dominating win as far as I remember? Or will we see something different this time with what this circuit usually provides?
I think it will be a close battle all throughout the grid. DRS trains will definitely be there, as there's two major DRS zones. I was going to say three then, but there is two. And we're expected a full grid, so definitely going to be a nice bit of DRS trains.
And like we said about that championship battle, it's still very early on, so mistakes, I would say at this point of the season, don't matter much, but a lot of the drivers don't want to make them regardless because they will be looking back at this start of the season and saying, where could I have gone wrong? Salt and Pepper at the end of last season was winning races and was doing wonderful. Well, he started the season great, but last week he had a 13th place finish in our 100% race at Austria. So, of course, although we say the mistakes aren't as costly now, if he does lose this championship by whatever the margin is, it's those races that he'll be looking back at and kicking himself for.
Yeah, but after last week, you can't really blame Salt and Pepper, as he had a lot of bad luck. He was taken out a few times and just didn't have the luck on his side. Other than that, he has been very strong. He made 2 comebacks last week, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, hopefully you'll have a bit more of a luckier week this week.
Rapid Owen's another driver I've been looking and keeping an eye on quite a bit too as well. He's our championship leader by 5 points. He got pole in Brazil, our first round, finished second there. Didn't really do anything notable in Spa as far as the results show, but he won his first race of the season last week. And as far as you remember, because we've raced him in other leagues as well, Invade, he's an aggressive driver. And I'm sure in order to defend that championship lead, he's going to need to turn the aggression level up at least a little bit tonight. But all the things start right now, and here we are for qualifying.
Yeah, Owen, obviously he's a reserve. He's going to try and have to play race by race, as he's not guaranteed to race every week. But yeah, definitely Owen, great driver. Obviously he's taken off some assists, got a bit slower, and he seems he's got back up to pace now and is cooking.
Now, I don't see him in the lobby right now. I'm not sure if he's going to be joining any point in this session whatsoever, but still, you're going to have to defend that championship lead at some point, and, well, if it's not tonight, it's going to have to be at least on offense mode next week if he's not coming in. I don't know if he is joining our lobby anytime soon. There we go, yeah. So he'll be our 20th runner then. So, yeah, I believe this would be short quali, I believe, for Div 2. So we should be getting ready for that. Regardless.
No, full.
Oh, full. Okay. All right. I forgot they changed that. And it is raining. We do get a lot of rain around Silverstone time and time again. Invade, and here we go again. No surprise. Everyone on the intermediate tire as well. I'm sure they'll be adjusting their setup. Hopefully the drivers can give us a little note as well on whether there is some rain or not for the race itself.
Yeah, just casual British weather right here.
Something a lot of you guys are very much used to. And something that has to be said, if you remember the Div 1 quali, Invade, it did matter when you got out there. We'll have to know if conditions are changing or not. Will they get worse? Will they get better? And if they are getting better, like we see some drivers flirting with the soft tire, you want to get that lap out at the very, very end of the session. If you're the last one to cross the line, you're most likely to get the best lap in possible. And that may matter for our qualifying session if it does dry up like we are thinking about.
And we've had confirmation in the chat, wet race by Adam F13.
Thank you, Adam. But yes, that is going to be very, very interesting. And that'll change the complexion of this championship when it comes to the race itself. First off, you better qualify good, and we do start qualifying now. But also, Invade, you have to race well. If you're not good in these wet conditions and you're high up in the championship, like we talked about, those top 6 drivers within 13 points for that margin, well, then you're going to have to make sure you make the most out of your result, even if you're not good in the wet.
As the session is now starting now, we have Sticky Ricky coming out first. TTRL Rickster. He's had a very poor showing this season. Obviously, one point this season, I'm pretty sure, coming in round 1, and he's not hit the ground running after being promoted from Division 3 last season. Hopefully, this is the week where he can change it about.
And I think this is a circuit that does give a lot of drivers motivation too, because for most drivers, like we know it, this is their home track, home circuit, and you want to do whatever you can around this circuit to show people, look, the first 2 rounds, that was just not the right way of going about things, not the right results. You could still prove you have the results in you. And I think this home race can give drivers a lot of confidence to boost upon. And I don't think something that we'll be talking about too much in these wet conditions, Invade, are these bumps. You're probably running on board with Rickster, I'd assume. Going down that straight here into Stowe,
Yep.
Usually there'd be some bumps there. Same with the main straight, and a lot of these straights have a lot of bumps. And you will try to ride just a bit off the racing line to not be on those bumps. I don't think these bumps that you usually see here will be as effective in the wet compared to the dry, but we do start laps with Rickster going through Abbey Corner now.
Definitely so, and he's actually kept that quite flat there. He's going to slowly feather the throttle on. As Adam F13, let me check if he's got a quali ban, I'm pretty sure he does.
While you check,
Adam has a quality ban, yeah.
Alrighty.
A wizard who has had back-to-back poles and the winner in Spa is on a race ban.
So if any of you want to get your pole prediction in, you'll probably not be giving him for 3 in a row tonight. But yeah, Rickster did complete the first sector, didn't get to see what the time is. But he is on hot lap with that ERS, and he's not wasting a lot of battery. That yellow flag you see in the last sector was for an Aston Martin starting a lap here. But we now go through Copse Corner, which of course, flat out in the dry, not really the same there in the wet. Maggots and Beckett's, this seems to be a big talking point, and I'll say why. This section has changed a lot in the dry, and I would say a lot over the course of each game cycle. You want to be very much more careful with those curbs and at the circuit on this game, because I think it has been more vital, as we saw in the Div 1 race Invade. It was probably the difference maker with a lot of people's laps, honestly, and especially yours when I was watching your Q3 lap as well.
Yeah, definitely. I was struggling there in the wet in the Q3, Q2 sessions. You gain most of your time in there. It depends how much you can absolutely send it. And Ricky, first lap, a 40.43.
We have Hush coming.
Hush next.
That will be the time they're chasing, 40.4. Hush betters it, 39.2. We have more coming as well, like we know it. Tiger is one of those, and Tiger will slide in slowest so far. But one of the interesting things we have to note, Invade, is that in these wet conditions, drivers will not be doing one and done with their laps. With these wet conditions, like we know it in every single game cycle, they'll be going for the extra lap or two pending what they have fueled. So, like we know it in the dry, you'll see a lot of drivers go for 1 lap and then cool down. Well, I think the only driver who's going to be doing that right now is Solon Kepper, because he's on 30% on that ERS. So he's really trying to push for this banker lap that he's got going compared to going out again while staying on the same tires.
Yeah, definitely. As we have Geldy coming up to the line now. Geldy does a 39.7. 5/10 off Hush. Hush is very good in these weathers. As Salt and Kepper, 3/10 off Hush. 39.5.
You still have 2 more crossing that are on laps as far as I'm aware of. JJ Hudson is one of them, and Jedi Gamer is another. JJ Hudson,
Go on board with
one of your
JJ.
drivers. Yeah, one of your drivers might make it an Alpine one too, but we'll see if that is possible. Likely not based on what I'm seeing with the ERS, but you never know. Never say never. And this final chicane is another interesting section too, because this seems to be a circuit, and maybe this will change with the wet invade, but this seems to be a circuit, especially in Div 1. You could not really push it as much as the other circuits, whether it's traction off, traction medium, whatever the case is for the drivers. It was something that is a lot different with other circuits in this game with getting on the power. And you see JJ Hudson slot in 5th fastest for Alpine. I really think it'll be a little bit different with the wet conditions, but we'll just have to find out when time comes.
Pretty sure the next one will be Mr. Adam Moore. He's not really pushing. He is on none, so he can go again straight away. As Adam Moore, he beats his teammate. Adam Moore also said before this race that he's good in these conditions as well. I'm going to go on board with Not Raz. This is his first race back on wheel.
There you go.
And his first race full time in this Salva seat now, next to his other teammate who's actually new to wheel as well, Richie Chappell.
Fair play to these guys. You know, when you make adjustments, especially you expect the race to be dry, maybe not expect it, but want it to. Therefore, you could really see where you're at. Now they're going to really see where they're at in different conditions, and maybe this will help them for the dry. They always say with the wet, it's the great equalizer, and we see some other times get clocked in. That is LA16 Ham who crossed. There was someone else just crossing. I believe now both V-Carbs have put a time on the board that is representable. The Sauber coming across the line, second fastest for Raz. That's not bad with the adjustment you were talking about, Invade. And we also have Slicks on a lap.
Oh,
but more importantly, Posty lead goes to the top of our Posty lad. Excuse me, I need some glasses today. Goes to the top of the board, 38.5. That is a blistering time. 7/10 clear right now.
As we're going to go on board with the crash merchant himself, Slicks. He actually managed a podium in a 100% race, which is very surprising, saying he doesn't usually finish a 50% race. As Hush betters his time by 3/10 over Posty.
Drivers will try and make sure they can go for another run on these set of tires, because you look at the amount of sets you get of inners and wets as well for that measure. Yeah, Rickster, Hush, just some of those drivers who put in more than just one time. JJ Hudson, I believe, did the same as well. But yeah, fair play to Slicks for doing so. And if you saw the TikTok predictions, he has himself, I believe, third for what is predicted tonight. We'll see if that does represent itself. Obviously, wet race and wet qualifying, so a lot can change. Using battery down that straight, and he's still got a lot of battery to spare for this final sector and final few corners. Slotting around it too might not hurt him too badly. You see Rapid Owen has joined us, but he has left the session immediately. We'll keep an eye on Slicks as well as Rapid Owen though. But Slicks crossing right now with one more corner to navigate. This should be the best time yet. We'll see if that is. His teammate betters himself, and Slicks goes just ahead of the teammate. Willie Bum now crossing for third. Fair play.
As we have five drivers without a lap. Adam couldn't set a lap. As Salt and Kepper.
We were just talking about his Austria race. A lot of things not
Ricky's
through his own fault.
Up.
Let's see what he does.
He moves himself up above Not Raz.
The thing about Salt and Kepper is if you want to avoid the trouble and try and get out of it, what better way of going fastest in Q1 you really do with that? You know, that's a big statement. Although it's only Q1, we still got 2 more qualifying sessions to go. Really sets himself up for the next 2 qualifying sessions right now. Even though things will change very quickly. It's only Q1.
Adam.
8 minutes to go.
Adam almost invalidated on the last bit, but he managed to go to third. As we're going to go to a Red Bull.
That will cost you here. Lap is on a lap
IRL
as well.
Schumacher is going to be next. Do you want to give us a lap on board with IRL Schumacher?
Yeah, why not? Yeah. Yeah, why not? Well, Rapid Owen does join us back.
Last week.
Yeah, and it's always nice to see the different amount of drivers having good races and putting more drivers on that podium. But he's not turned on ERS just yet here. I'm assuming he's going to wait a little bit. But into Abbey corner, flat out here. a little tricky there. You want to keep it on the track as much as you can, but also
I don't think
try
he's
and push that
pushing.
boundaries. And I don't think he is either. You want to switch to Lem maybe, who's finishing
Yeah,
the lap?
Lem coming into Maggots and Beckett's here. Gonna absolutely send it. Lem's been an underdog this season. Like, nobody expected him to be up there, but he's absolutely cooking. As Not Raz has gone fastest.
And the good thing for Lem, although he's not got a lap in yet, Invade, he has had more track time already than championship leader Rapid Owen. He's 5 points back than him in the championship, and we see the top times changing once again. Is track evolution really kicking in here?
I wish I could see how much time is left in the session to see how much Owen
More positions changing.
Lem
crosses.
Respectable.
8th. Not necessarily the time it looked to be, but fair play. Keeping it in the top 10. Remember, only Q1. So not every driver will be pushing their absolute limit.
Geldy's going to be next. Geldy's nearly 2 seconds up here. He's going to be looking at Posty Lad here.
13th to where? What's the difference going to be on the timing charts? Barely any ERS to spare, so he's pushed it a lot in this lap. ERS out of the final corner, a bit interesting there, but he goes second fastest in Q1. Fair effort there.
That's a lovely little lap. Schumacher is going to start a lap now, and no he's not because he almost lost it. And we have 5 minutes left of the session. As Slicks to the line. Slicks goes third.
Fair effort again for another driver finding time.
Willie
Bum now fastest. Both Red Bulls in the top 3. Posty's lagged out there, I believe.
Yeah. Button improves over his teammate. Button, one of our older heads in the league, as we have Not Raz to the line. Not Raz is starting. The other one,
Blazer finishing. Guns. He does not pull up on the board, so this might knock somebody in that bottom 5. Yes, it does. 5th fastest. Jedi Gamer will definitely have to go again. We already knew that anyway, but it definitely certifies that. Schumacher, you mentioned him not pushing prior. He is on medium battery. I'm not sure if he's pushing, but we'll definitely find out this time. This time, through this section, he does not have an invalidated lap time. So, luckily for him, he'll know that he can set a lap on the board this time compared to last time.
Looking at Schumacher, yep.
Yes. And he'll complete the sector split. I'm going to check what he's doing compared to the teammate. We just saw another place change.
He's still got max battery.
Yeah. Well, Blazer had 30.6 in the first sector, 40.1 in the second. Schumacher, 31.2, 40.2. So he may not be pushing a lot, but he will get a lap on our board, I believe. Yes, he will. He'll cross this time.
And
this will not be slowest, I think. Yeah. Good to see there. Rapid Owen also in the session. He's going out finally.
Richie's also yet to set a lap. Ooh, that was very loose on the exit.
Yeah. Could have lost it easily. Loosey-goosey moment from Schumacher, but it is 14th, knocking Button in that bottom 5. Technically, Invade, we can kind of say bottom 4 because of Adam's situation.
Yeah. Trying to see who's next. Mercedes?
Yeah, not Raz.
Oh,
he's next.
There
you go. 36.6. That is 4/10 clear. And I think Posty, well, he's not going to go out on those tires, surely. He's thinking about the soft tires because you can definitely see that dry line starting to form. Starting to, at least.
Definitely so.
Still raining, of course. That's not going to change that. But we got Slicks on a lap. Blazer just started another one. You could definitely see if you have the tires on. I believe you do. We can see right now. Yeah, okay. I was just going to say, we can see right now is there's another position trade that was Lem up to 8th and Mr. Adam Moore 6th. Yeah, I was just going to say with these tires, look at the drivers who just finished laps there. Lem, 3 laps in those tires. Adam Moore, 6 laps in those tires. So as we said and as we knew it, drivers were going to continue to go again. Slicks was 4/10 up in that first sector, had a little slot out of Beckett's, and now he's still 4.5 tenths better. But this should certify him a Q2 appearance no matter what happens here in the final 2.5 minutes to go.
As Geldy goes to second.
Reply. Red Bull's back again in the top 3.
He's going ball with Salt and Kepper, who's 1.2 seconds up here. As IRL Schumacher goes next to his teammate.
Slicks and Salt. There'll be 2 drivers we're looking at for lap Slicks first, and that's 3rd. Where will Salt and Kepper jump to now? Overtake out of the final corner and across the line.
Third.
Fair play. Rapid Owen. He's on a lap now. You want to go on board with him or someone else? Because he's in trouble right now.
There's a spin. There's a spin across the line. That was Hudson. Yeah, on board with Rapid Owen now. First lap.
This will be vital for our championship leader to get through. A lot of changes. 31-2. What does that compare to our driver in the Sauber, Raz, fastest right now? That's still 1.1 slower. He knows he's made a mistake somewhere, so he's going to have to go again, charge it up. And he does have time to, but time is ticking.
As I'm going to go on board with Sticky Ricky out of Maggots. He's going to burn that
bottom four.
Energy.
Needs a lap in badly, Invade.
He could knock out his good friend Tiger.
Both a part of TTRL. 6,000 right now, the difference.
Is ERS to the line or not?
He's going to get through. He's going to get it. Track Evolution's been super big. Fourth fastest.
We love to see it.
Jedi Gamer's on a big lap here in this bottom 5. He might not get ahead of Tiger right now, but with the Track Evolution we just saw right there, he just needs to nail these few corners, Maggots and Beckett's, or a few sections, Maggots and Beckett's, then Stowe and that final chicane, and he'll be fine. Jedi Gamer's improvement in the second sector, 2.2 seconds. Yeah, Trek Evolution's massive. But also the difference right now between 15th and 17th is also a bit bigger than that too, so he's going to need some time in this final sector, Invade. Yellow flag still, we can't see the time remaining, but we know it's, what, a minute and a half?
A little bit of slip from the Alpine head, but obviously not much, as the Alpines cross the line together.
Here we go.
Jedi.
Through. Right now. That knocks Lemon to that bottom 5. This is going to be a big session here for some of these drivers who are high up in the championship.
To the line.
They need it badly.
Blazer.
Fair play. That's now 4 drivers in the 4 drivers up there within a 10th. Lem across the line, currently facing elimination. No longer 10th fastest. That knocks Hush down there. Adam Moore fastest. And Button, who's in the pit lane, desperately needs something to go wrong for Hush and Rapid Owen here to get through. Richie didn't get a lap in. He's out. Adam's out. Tiger checkered flag. He's out. But it's up to Hush and Rapid Owen.
Slake's invalidated. Could Slake's, because of the track evolution, be knocked out?
No, there's no way. There's already drivers lower down who... Yeah, but the thing is, he may still drop a lot of places, Slicks, in this section, and if that happens for him in Q3, that'll be detrimental.
Posty first.
Rapid Owen will be the first one before Hush. I'll look at Hush in a moment, but Rapid Owen needs his lap desperately. Championship leader Invade across the line. Is he going to get the time in? He does. Button's out. So now it's between Schumacher and Hush is up by 1.2. He needs to at least keep this on the track limits, and he'll be A-okay.
Is going to be Hudson first to the line.
Hudson will be safe, but he just needs to allow his teammate to get there, and he will.
Hudson is through, and Hush is definitely through.
So Schumacher, both V-Carbs, Adam, and Richie Chipple eliminated in this first session of qualifying. Quite a very concerning session for Lem, only just holding on barely there on the cusp. 15th place, but getting through luckily for our 2nd place man in the championship. You talked about him being an underdog, and this is kind of why. But it's Posty Lad, Willie Bum, Jedi, the top 3. Home drivers.
There's 2 big surprises in that. There was actually 3 big surprises in that session. Posty Lad, after showing minimal pace in last week's race, is fastest. Geldy, who's been around the midfield, is up there, and also seeing Button, one of the OGs in the league, actually out. I was kind of shocked about that. I'm surprised he didn't make it to Q2.
Both V-Carbs out on pure pace. Schumacher as well. Adam and Richie Chapel, as we know it, did not get the lap in. Adam had a qualifying ban. Richie Chapel saw his teammate up there. Q2 now, and if you have any predictions for who you think will be knocked out, leave them in the Twitch chat, and we'll tell you if you were
Ooh,
right
could it
by
be
the end of the
dry?
session. Well, there you go. There you go. Yeah, look at
I'm gonna
this.
put the
No
tires
rain
up.
right now at the end of the
Inters
session.
are everyone is the type that everyone's on.
But they'll change that once they do fix their fuel and whatnot. Yeah, there you go.
Is Ham? Ham's the first one.
Song
Wet.
Cap for teasing us.
Softs.
As you saw it though, Invade, at the end of the session, Track Evolution, a key difference in deciding who was going to go through and who was not. The times at the end did change with the buffer coming from 3 seconds to what, 1.5 needing to get
Moore's
through.
going to be the first one to come out, and he's on the inters. I think he's going to do a recon lap. Everyone's going to be looking at Adam Moore.
Yeah, we'll see what the difference is. But not only everyone looking at Adam Moore, everyone will also be looking at what he is comparing to the drivers on softs here. That's what they'll be looking at as well. It has stopped raining. We can confirm that.
There's definitely still a bit of moisture on there. It's
yeah,
get
so
dry, though.
Give it about, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes. It'll be ready for dry tires, no doubt about it. We don't have anyone coming out on those softs yet. As far as I'm aware, got a Mercedes coming out. That would be Lem, but he's on inners as we know it. Well, I just want to say, Invade, fair play for Rapid Owen and Lem, top 2 in the championship, just sneaking their way through. They needed laps. They got laps in when the pressure was really over their shoulders. They delivered.
Some would say pressure. What pressure?
Yeah, for them, maybe not. But still, you gotta still keep the car on the track, and they did that. Still more coming out. There's a Haas coming out, and that would be Blazer Guns. Nobody out on the track yet on dry tires. Everyone just trying to, like you said, get their recon lap in. And that first driver will be Adam Moore. Mr. Adam Moore, in fact, for Ferrari. Invade, we did talk about home drivers, but we do have home teams here, of course, in RSF1. Williams from the UK, McLaren, Aston Martin. A lot of teams based in the UK, I guess you could say. So we'll just have to see how that does pan out for teams who want to win their home race just as much as the drivers do.
Is out here.
Owen
is our first one.
Take a little gamble.
Oh, you can definitely tell it's Inter's weather. Adam's got this hooked.
Even then, with it being Inter's weather and no more rain, he is still going to run off slightly. Excuse me, he's going to slightly run off the racing line, as you can see, because those bumps will be in more effect with no rain. It is affecting him if he runs in those bumps. You do lose time, and it's so stupid that it's like that, but that is just the way it is. You want to run slightly off the racing line, and you see him doing that to not run on those bumps and lose the time that he would be losing.
As there's a massive lip. Oh god, that is very wide from Adam. As I've just had a bit of information, it's going to go wet, and then halfway through it's going to go dry for the race.
So that'll be dry, wet, dry. A little interesting weather there. Penrose says, good evening, gentlemen. Dry before end of Q2? Should be. No more rain on our screens, but we did have wet Q1 for those of you who were not tuning in. Rapid Owen, only driver on the softs. Mr. Adam Moore on our inter crossing, but he's already ran out of deployment before the end of the chicane.
That's something I kept doing last night, and you don't want to do that.
Cross the line. Just 1,000th ahead of a 37 flat. Fair play. We have more coming.
That's
Rapid Owen.
than Q1 times, though.
But he's only starting one. Now, this is what the drivers who are thinking about softs invading are going to look at. What is Rapid Owen doing in comparison? We have the Red Bull coming across. That is Willie Bum. He's starting one.
We'll watch it.
Mercedes Lem is coming back in. Yeah, we'll watch Owen, yeah.
Oh, so, Owen's struggling so hard.
Let me check what the first sector was so we can see a big comparison here, although he's struggling. 30.2 from Mr. Adam Moore. Owen probably only going to be a second off that at the very worst, I want to say. We'll see. 31.3. That's 1.1 off.
Yeah, nah.
But you did say there was a mistake, so clearly not
That just
far.
looks like the tires
Yeah.
not being good. I'm gonna go on board with Willy Bum 29.9 in comparison. That's 2 seconds quicker.
Alpine coming out. I'm not sure which Alpine that is. That's either Hudson or Hush. It's Hudson first, now Hush coming out. Still, Rapid only the only one on the softs though, who tried it, and clearly not far away from them, but still some time to get there. It'll matter by the end of the session though.
Yeah, it's not going to be soft for a while. Need to get rid of the standing water. As Willy Bum's hooking and sending it.
But he's got no battery to spare coming into the final sector. He might run out of deployment in a similar area where Mr. Adam Moore ran out of deployment. He's got less than 20% for this final sector, and that's not really what you want to have. He probably won't put on the overtake button anytime soon. Look at that. Deployment used already. So that'll definitely hamper him coming across the line. He's just got to hope the rest of the lap was better than what Mr. Adam Moore had. Still less than 9 minutes to go. Only a second driver crossing the line to get a lap in, and that's clearly fast. Just 36.2, 7/10 clear. But again, we don't have many representable laps to go off of. The only other one we'll go off of soon is Salt and Pepper.
Next.
Yeah, purple in the second sector. Using a lot of battery as well, but not below 20% this time.
He's got a decent bit of usage left as well, and oh god, he's using it. He might run out before the line.
But he didn't run out before the final chicane though, Invade, so that's a difference compared to the two we've had already cross. A cross line for Salt and Pepper. This will be fastest, but by how much? Only just.
I think that is quicker than the Q1 times now.
And that does mean we are flirting with it being time for soft tires or not. We have, how do you pronounce the Red Bull's name we were talking about?
Next.
Gidi his name? I don't know how to pronounce it.
Geldy.
You pronounced it right. Geldy. It always throws me off, the I's and the L's, but regardless, he'll go right behind the teammate. Blazer, you mentioned, second fastest. Now we're getting some times on the board.
I think the next one's going to be Hudson. No, it's not Adam. I didn't see he went back in. Hudson 30.3 in the first. Screw over the game because it's lying to us.
Yeah. But the Alpines so far in the first sector have managed their battery quite well. 30.3 from Hudson, 29.7 from Hush. And as Adam says in the chat, get the softs on. Yeah, we're definitely going to get those soft tires on by the end of the session. And Tricky Ricky already has those soft tires on. He's on an outlap, so we'll be watching him after these Alpine boys do cross the line. Hudson coming across the sector split. Let's see where this is. Very weird ERS usage. That's okay.
Are we going to have a little bit of slipstream for Hudson? Yes, we are. Hudson's going to pick up like a minor slipstream from Sticky Ricky on the softs.
And Ricky trying to warm up the tires, so this is going to be right at the end of the lap here, where he does catch Ricky. Oh, look at this. Ricky's starting to lap, and he's going to just give him a little bit of dirty air. Luckily, it's just A-okay. Hudson across the line. This should be just behind the fastest time. It's 5/10 off. What's the teammate doing? He was doing better in the first sector. We didn't see him in the second sector, but he's managed the ERS perfectly. He's still got 50% to spare across the line. This should be fastest, and guess what? It is by a second.
Boom.
Slicks is next, or one of the next ones at least.
Hush loves these weathers. That was after returning to RSF1 after a couple of seasons out last season. He won a race in these conditions. These are his speciality.
He's second now. Slicks across the line. What's it going to be for Slicks? Drastic cheering on this McLaren boys, and the McLaren of Slicks goes second fastest, 3/10 off of Hush's time. Are we seeing soft tires being used sometime soon? We're going to find out on that one soon, because
Ricky was
Rookster
35.
back
35.
off.
I think it were.
Lem now second.
There we are.
So right now, the inner seems to be the preferred tire, but like we mentioned it before, we're not far from the soft compound tires. Although you see on our screen, Willie and Blazer softs, that's the tire they're fitting right now. By the end of this session, and same with Mr. Adam Moore, but by the end of the session, they'll be on those softs, and absolutely, I agree with you guys in the chat. You have to gamble on those softs on the last run because they will be marginally faster. We're right around the crossover period, even though it has stopped raining for almost 10 minutes now. The track has not been fully dry, and as you know, typical Silverstone weather, waiting to dry. Rapid Owen's first run, Invade, he was on the soft tires. He's now back on the inners, and he's got barely any years to spare.
Just a bit of information on Rapid Owen. His files are corrupted, so he has no setups.
Oh. So big trouble for our championship leader. Wow. Yeah, our championship leader on the back foot. As a reserve, mind you. 8-9.
He's got no usage.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He's really on the back foot here. And not managing it well. 29.7 was the first sector from Hush. Rapid Owen's first sector was a 29.6. 39.2 in the second sector. Hush's was a 39.0, so you can see that ERS hampering him. And no deployment used yet. I'm very surprised about that. But Rapid Owen crossing the line now. Overtake on use. And it is second fastest. If you manage ERS a little bit better, you gotta wonder, would that have been fastest? And we have Ham on the circuit on soft tires. Remember, we're eliminating 5 at the end of the session in 3.5 minutes time. And we already have one driver. Yeah. We already have one driver who's got a lap in that bottom 5, but the rest don't. The rest are just waiting for the soft period.
Yeah, they're all looking at it, but I don't think it's going to get soft weather.
I think it will, but I think it'll be just
as well. Nah,
yeah,
Drastic
does believe that.
It's not quick enough.
Yeah. Penrose says got to gamble last run on softs. Adam agreed, but Drastic says not quick enough for softs yet. Well, now's the time to find out. Ham starting a lap. Hudson completed one. Third fastest. Ham is really pushing on this.
Ham? Let's have a look.
Yeah,
you can't even go full throttle there.
Softs with warm-up lap. That's not a bad idea, Adam. And you know what? Ham can do that here, even with the mistake. Oh, big slide, big moment. Yep, he's backed off.
It's just not the weather.
If he does have a warm-up lap, I think he'd be okay, but these drivers in the bottom 5! Wow. I was just going to say, these drivers in the bottom 5
grass.
Really struggling. Yeah, and that will do it. I was going to say, with Rickster and Posty all on soft tires right now, they are really messing with a lot of things here in order to try and get into Q3. And right now, it's not working for them. They're going to need something special. Someone who might get something special in here who's not got a lap in yet is Jedi Gamer. He was waiting for those softs, didn't go out, and now he's on the inner lap. And that's not good for Slick's fastest. You mentioned the potential of him being out last session. Now he could be really risking it with these conditions.
I doubt it because there's only 4 people behind him on the inters, and I
Still
doubt
don't
those
know.
softs are going to get good.
Still don't know. The drivers who are 9th and 10th right now, really risking things not being out on the circuit right now. That's well, Willy Bum's finally out there, but Blazer not out yet. Finally going out. Salt and Kepper. There's a lot of drivers on outlaps though. Who do you watch at this point? Less than 2 minutes remaining. Who's going to get knocked out?
Oh, 31.3 from... Oh, wait, no, that's nowhere near the pace.
That's still nowhere near, but
I got tricked.
At the same time, he does have a warm-up lap here that he is getting with these tires. Clearly has enough time to get back through to the line and whatnot. Rickster just started one, and I'm watching go through turn 1. Yeah, he has to lift. Everyone's had to lift on those soft tires, so they're going to be out. They're going to be out. That's a shame.
Let's have a look at Ricky's first. Well, first sector's played, but it doesn't look like anything's going to happen. There's barely a dry line.
It really doesn't.
Well, actually, you can barely see the dry line.
31.3 was the best first sector we saw from someone on the softs. It's still the same.
Yeah, Salt and Kepper's 6/10 up, and he's going to get blocked.
Whoa! Look at this. We're about to have contact between the two, and there you go. Oh. There it is. Salt and Kepper trying to go through on a lap, and there was a bit of contact between him and Rickster, who was slower and on the soft tires. As Penrose says in the Twitch chat, this will be a fun in Q2, and now it starts with less than a minute remaining here. 25 seconds. Some drivers here who are on outlaps might not get to the checkered flag. Look at Geldy here, only just approaching Stowe. You can see it on our track map. Blazer will get there in time. Lem gets there in time. And Salt and Kepper, as you said it, will get to the line in time to improve. Time is ticking. 4, 3, 2, 1. Geldy, checkered flag. So he's going to have to hope there's no drivers behind improving. At least marginally, or at least enough. Only marginally. Salt and Kepper across. Deployment used. Fastest 34.4.
Adam, invalid. Ricky
Rickster,
is done.
No, done. Done, no.
LA
Mr. Adam
Ham
Moore invalidated, as you said it.
next.
It's only up to Jedi, I think. And he didn't improve, so he's out. He's 36-0 in the first sector.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
going to do it, I think.
Ham's cooked.
Slick's invalidated on that second go. Ham, you said he's out. He got a lap in, though. I think the next one is the Sauber. That's Raz. He is finding time. It doesn't need to improve, but he's going to choose to do so anyway. Although it's not dry enough for softs now, we do got to wonder what Q3 will be like.
We do want to see bragging rights, and we want to see you get some for
Absolutely. 3 more corners for Raz. Sauber driver saw his driver last in Q1. Will he go first again in Q2? Yes! 34-1. Willie Bum, 5th. Posty Lad, he's out. We know he's not going to get the lap in. He's already invalidated, so we know he's going to be in and out. But now, like you said, it's just about bragging rights and kind of going for it for the passion's sake. Blazer, we mentioned why was he not out there? Well, he got to the line in time, and he will get a lap in, and he will find time. He will be 7th fastest. Just Hush we're waiting on, and he invalidated, and he'll just need to get back to the pit lane or to the start-finish line. So, that'll be it for Q2 invade. 34-1 was the time to beat. Raz, Salt and Kepper, Hush the top 3, and your bottom 5 made up with both Williams, both Ferraris, and Ham.
Yeah. I think that was kind of expected when you saw them all go out on softs.
Yeah. We thought the softs would get better, but the track never really dried up like we thought it would. I mean, it stopped raining, but clearly it was not enough. And maybe that'll change for Q3, but didn't make a difference for Q2. Q2 in the books. Folks, if you have any predictions for Q3, let us know in the Twitch chat. We'll go through them at the end of the session. Speaking of the session, here are things with how they stand.
We have Raz, Kepper, Horsch, Owen, Willy Bump, top 5.
Any surprises?
Posty Lad, because he had great pace in Q1. He topped the session,
Agreed.
didn't he? LA Ham also was up there in Q1. The rest is kind of expected.
It's just going to be about being on the right tire at the right time, and especially for our race, which, if you did not know, folks, from what we heard, dry, wet, dry, right? Or something like that? Wet, dry, wet? It'll be mixing conditions, we know that. So, Q3, 12 minutes of this session, and time to see who will be on pole. Last week and the week before, we had Wizard on pole, but he's got a race ban. So the only other driver who can repeat poles would be Rapid Owen, our reserve driver. And everyone on the soft tire. So now we know it's ready. But, yeah, try Q3. Try Q3 would be the answer to that one.
Woo.
And yeah, should be a ton of fun.
We actually got to see some soft laps that are actually representation. I can't speak. I'm just
Representable.
There we are.
And Salt and Kepper, you can see on our screen, trolling us with the wet weather compound tire. We're not salty, Salt and Kepper. We like to see a bit of trolling from time to time, and we do see that with the right manner. Driver's already going out.
Oh, God.
Unfade. The Blazer. Yep. A little tricky out of the pit lane there.
Do you think it's still like, obviously you can see a wet patch still. Obviously there's a bit more drier now, but do you think people will still go out on inters?
I don't know. Maybe for the first run, Salt and Kepper thought about it. Maybe. I don't know. I think we're ready for softs. I think we're right on that crossover period now. And like we spoke about very vaguely, oh, Laser, a little moment there, out of
Doesn't want to keep it
his
straight.
turn. Yeah. Stop 7 seconds quicker, apparently, Owen says.
Yeah,
DRS enabled.
there
There
you
you
are.
go. There you go. That'll be the magic answer. Well, one thing we did speak about very vaguely, Matt, is the fact that with no more rain, dry tires, as you saw in the Div 1 race, whether it be from qualifying or the race, drivers will be running just barely off the racing line, and that's to avoid the bumps. You will have to manage that a lot more now in Q3 compared to Q2 and Q1 because there's no rain and there's no intermediate tires. So every single moment that you do not go on those bumps will matter for your lap, and that might be the difference between hundreds, thousands, maybe a tenth or two for pole position and our other positions. But our first lap will be started by Blazer Guns, and we're going to see as he comes into turn 1 what the difference is in terms of those bumps from the inter and dry. You see it already dipping to the right a little bit to run off the racing line and not be on those bumps. That does cost the driver time on this game for some reason, and we'll see what all happens when the order does tumble itself out here when the laps do get set.
Oh,
Oh,
God, that's
moment!
wide.
That's off.
No, we're going to go on slicks. We're going to go on
And
slicks now.
Slicks managed that. He was able to diamond the corner instead of going off like that. Remember, he had an off earlier on in Q2 on the dry tires, I believe. Or at least maybe one of the tires. Inners, softs, don't remember. But he had an off.
Doesn't slicks have an off?
Well, we'll find out if that does happen in the race. Purple Sector 1, that was 29.1. That's already 6/10 better than our best sector from the last qualifying session.
Definitely so. It's definitely dry now. Slicks using the ERS. He's going to swing it in 7th gear.
Oh!
And he almost loses it.
He's in the
He's
grass.
just styling. He's just styling.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
I don't know who else would be on the lap, but JJ Hudson has
Geldy.
spun in the first sector. Luckily, did not come in front of Lem right there. That would have been horrible.
Yeah, we'll go on board with Geldy now.
He'll actually get a lap in here as things stand. Don't want to commentate or curse it, but he's looking clean right now. Overtake on use.
He's going to burn to about 30 like he does. Swing it. Going to break at 50.
3 more corners to go. Slick's fastest, but that was not a representable time.
That was very close to the big curb. Though we have
31.8.
Geldy 31.8.
Our next one is a Sauber of Raz, and this is
Raz.
better.
It's not obviously at the time where they should be at, but it's definitely quicker than Inter's.
Lem chucked it into medium because of not having much battery to spare. Across the line, he's second fastest. So our benchmark times are coming in, and they're close right now. We have more coming. That is Willie
Wow,
Bum
that's
fourth. Another one, JJ Hudson. He had a moment in that lap. Now we have the 2 Astons. Sultan Kepper is one of those drivers on intermediate tires, and he'll be the second one to come across the line of the 2 Astons. Rapido in first, our championship leader, goes on to pole again, 30.9. This is a blistering time, 4/10 clear, and Sultan Kepper, who's next, is not having the time right now. 1.2 seconds slower than the teammate and off pole. Very interesting though.
Fifth.
But also very interesting that he was the only one to opt for intermediate compound tires here.
I'm going to go on board with Horseshoe. Seems like he's the only one on our lap.
Him and JJ Hudson on a lap, the only 2. Laser backed off.
Hudson spun though.
Yes, he did. He did spin in the same section for the 2nd time now in a row. He spun there earlier, a little bit early on in the corner, on the first run. So he's not having a time there. The time there, I should say, in that start of the 2nd sector. Hush, 29.1. That's about relatively even with our fastest time, right? No, 4/10 off. Thought it'd be closer, but it's not. Still though, could be front row, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, whatever it may be. Whenever he does cross the line, he could still find time in the remaining sectors. Oh no, never mind! Around he goes!
You don't want to be doing that.
Don't want to commentator curse these guys either. Hudson is aborted the lap, back to the pit lane, he'll go.
He's definitely got the feel to do it. He's gonna send it here.
Like I said about diamonding this corner, it's what you want to do to not get on the power too early. You mentioned this is a very tricky track on traction compared to times prior, but he's not really, well, now he is. He's coming off the racing line to not be on those bumps. 4/10 faster in the first sector. A lot of time being found. But wouldn't you say that's just a track evolution with the track being more dry than prior?
It might, yeah, it might be that, or it might be he's just on a better lap.
Only time will tell. Oh!
I think he has a bit more confidence now, obviously, because he's got a decent time on the board.
Well, that'll be the thing for Hush and Blazer. They'll be on the back foot. Same with Hudson when it comes to doing second runs. I guess the same could be said about Slicks when he had the off. 5/10 faster now on the lap as he crosses the sector split. This is a chance at pole position for Lem. Lem and Rapid Owen, we spoke about prior, our top two in the championship. Owen's had a pole this season. The other drivers have not. But Lem is back in the pit lane, and I think he wants to go for a new set of softs here. And remember that pit lane invade further on down this game compared to last game. Drivers will have to adapt to that.
Definitely so, especially under a safety car. If you overtake someone under a safety car, you can get a 10-second penalty.
So there you go. That would do it.
There is a Alpine coming out, and I think that might be JJ. Yeah, it's JJ. Wait, no, JJ's already out there. It'll be Hush also coming out.
So both Alpines trying to get their final runs in a bit early.
Not really much to say, other than
yeah. Well, I'm trying to see what
drier.
Trying to see what Hudson's fuel is on 3.7. He's not really fueled it for 2 runs, has he?
Hush is 4.5.
Yeah, so Hush has fueled it more so for another run. Hudson is not.
Maybe
well, chat
the traffic.
Maybe, but chat, we have 3 minutes remaining in the session. Who do you guys think will be on pole position or our top 3? Let us know in our Twitch chat. We have Adam watching, Drastic, Penrose, Owen, a lot of drivers. Whether you're from Div 1 or Div 2 watching.
Pole.
Yeah, well, he might be the only one to steal it, or Lem over Rapid Owen, who has been on pole already once this season. Hudson on a lap now. Abbey Corner completes that with ease. Already 70% on that battery, though, so that is a little concerning, but he can definitely fix that through these sections. Turn 3, brakes for a little bit of a slow entry there, but he's trying not to push it too much because it's so easy to get loose on the power here out of the corner exit. DRS applied, overtakes so much down the straight. He can take it off overtake now. He just does, but 50% to end the sector split. 9/10 up here. 28-0. So the times are improving. We mentioned what Rapid Owen had in that first sector on his first go. 28-7. And remember, that was when the softs just first started being better when the DRS got enabled. So surely the track evolution is going to be massive here. It might depend on who has the last lap whenever the things are said and done with. Overtake button out of Cop's corner momentarily. Maybe not the smartest choice, but it won't have a lot of ERS to use with that overtake button down this straight coming up. Famously the hanger straight. 13 seconds up. Obviously that's to be expected when we don't have a lap representable on our board, but we'll have 10% here for Stowe Corner. Really not good in the ERS management at all. Overtake on use as well.
Here he is, full line. Hudson.
Fastest. Easy.
Yeah.
Hush and validated.
Oh, yeah, but he has enough time to go again.
And you know who else does? Sultan Kepper. He'll get this last lap, and everybody here who's on an out lap will have a chance to get only 1 lap in. That'll be it. 1 minute and 5 seconds remaining in this session. Sultan Kepper has started the lap, and he's running on the bumps. Or was.
Not a great start for Salt.
But he's better on the ERS compared to what JJ Hudson was on. Remember, entering Abbey Corner, he was on 70. Saul and Kepper on 80% there on the battery, so a little bit marginally better. Overtake on use here. Now down the straight heading into Brooklands. I can't remember the straights. I want to call it the Kemmel Straight because I was recently racing at Spa, but it's not the Kemmel Straight, is it?
Nah.
I can't remember my corner names for crap.
I should know the corner names off heart, but
so should I.
Go into this track this year, but you know, I'm useless.
Wellington Straight, sorry folks. Now down the Hangar Straight here. It will be down the
into
straight.
Maggots.
Check the flag is out.
Into 6th. Gonna burn the RS.
2.9 seconds better. Still flirting with the top of the board. Could go front row. We'll find out when the times clock in. Again, you want to be the last one to go here, and guess who the last one was to go? The Sauber of Raz. Across the line, Sultan Kepper overtake on use, and he will go fastest. 27.6 provisional pole. Who's next? Lem is next. 2.7 seconds up on the time. All going to make the difference in that final sector. And as we said, you want to be the last one across the line. He's not going to be the last one, so we'll see how the times do shape up. 4/10 off, and now that is Hush going second fastest. 18 milliseconds off. Next are the Red Bulls, the first one of Geldy. And then Slicks. Can they make the difference? A lot of ERS still left in this final sector. Across the line, Geldy fastest. Slicks next. Slicks does make the difference. Only the front row. Rapid Owen's next as well. Rapid Owen, can he go back-to-back poles this season in terms of 2 for 2? No, he cannot. Blazer only 8th. Raz, he'll be the last one. Across the line. Will the last one count?
Raz.
Will he do it? Yes!
Yes, Raz!
Raz on pole! Raz with his first pole of the season. And it comes in Silverstone. The last one across the line in the conditions where they were improving matter once again. 2/10 better. And the Danish driver upsets all the home drivers with pole.
Raz, in his first full-time race, is on pole, followed by Geldy and Slicks in 3rd, Salt and Kepper's 4th, Hush is 5th, Rapid Owen 6th, Willy Bum 7th, NRG Lem is 8th, JJ Hudson is 9th, and Blazer Guns rounds out your top 10.
Look at this. Our top 2 in the championship starting 6th and 8th. If you include Salt and Kepper, who's 3rd in the championship, 4th for that matter. Slicks up there in 3rd, fair play. But Raz, you said it, first full-time race on pole. And it is raining for our start, meaning, as we know what we heard from the weather, that means wet, dry, wet. But how long do you want to be on those dry tires? What will you choose for the dry tires? More likely softs, but I mean, that does beg the question, is it time for those soft tires when you go for it, and will it make the difference? Because a pit stop around here in Vade is like 25, 30 seconds. It's massive.
Oh, there's a lot of wet stuff. And we have 5-minute break.
Yes, we do. So we have a time to talk about a lot.
Hush just said in the driver's chat, dry tires to start.
Interesting. Cards from everybody. Interesting. I do see that. Cards from everybody. Huh.
That is very interesting. I wonder what the weather is.
Yeah, hopefully if anybody does streaming, we can get a link to it and hopefully get some extra info on that aspect. But yeah, I agree with you, Dan, and a lot of the fellas in the chat. That was a great Q3. And again, in those conditions, it does matter who is the last one across the line, and the last one across the line went on the pole. No surprise there, but at the same time, I'm still surprised that it was the big gap it was, 2.5 tenths. I mean, I say a big gap, but, you know, that was not really anything back on 2020, just with the way this game is, though. That is a big gap. Remember, 26 laps around this circuit, and with the rain on our forecast, it will definitely change the complexion of things with the start. You can now see on the race director, at least, the drivers are switching to different tires than the hards. The game put them on the hards. They are switching to softs, mediums, and different choices here. I would love to know what the drivers could see from their screens, because you have 7 patches in the F124 game of weather. I know it's raining on the start, but what do the patches show? Are we having just more rain later on? Does it get worse? Is it enough? That may matter with what tire you start on tonight. If it
All
gets
I know
worse with
is
that rain
it's
at
gonna
the
get
end,
dry. It's gonna get
what'd you say?
dry. It's gonna get dry at the end.
All right, so yeah, maybe that really does not matter then too much with what tire you start on. Won't be enough for inners, maybe. Just that right on that crossover period the whole time. But where the dry tires are slightly better. Just says he's live right now, so we'll have to check him out and see what things do look like there. I'll do so.
Okay. In other news, we could look at the constructor standings.
Yeah, we spoke with the drivers a lot beforehand.
Let's have a look at the constructors then. Constructors. Mercedes are leading, 70 points. Then it's Alpine in second with 42. Aston Martin 35. McLaren 33. Then we have Haas 28. Same with Ferrari on 28. Red Bull 24. Same with VCarb on 24. Then Williams 19. And Sauber, who do have a pole right now, is on 0.
Fair play for the Sauber team getting a pole that they did, because in the combined constructors they sit 5th, but they don't have any points to show for in this tier, in this division. And I think for the drivers, Invade, no matter what happens tonight, you want to have a good race, because next week we go to a mystery round and we don't know what things are going to be like. We don't know what track it's going to be. We don't know. Well,
Definitely.
you guys might know better than I do when it will be announced, but I mean, still, it won't be announced till late on.
We're also, well, there will be a vote on it, so it could either be an hour beforehand or it could be a literally when everyone's in the lobby. In other news, this week we had Div 1 race at this track. We had VRC Dan win ahead of Drastic, and JP, our reigning Div 2 champion, getting a podium.
Good effort there. Safety car did kind of help, but he played his cards beautifully.
Yeah, definitely did. Being at the right place at the right time.
Now, this will be interesting if there's a late safety car, because there is definitely a big variety in what the drivers are starting on for tires. We have some on softs, some on mediums, some surprisingly on hards. But I think that's because I'm looking at Raz's stream. The first 5 patches show wet weather. Now, obviously, I mean, look, everyone's starting on the dry tires, but that may matter later on with the last 2 patches being just overcast. That may mean with the crossover period, I guess, being more effective, where it is definitive being on those dry tires, or a certain specific dry tire, I say, because, by the end of the race, if it's not close of a margin with any rain, you're going to want to be on the softs then at that point rather than medium or hards, which is why you see a lot of drivers going for hards, even though in the dry, the hards are quite useless here. That will make a difference later on, I'm sure, and that's why you see a lot of drivers, even though the hards are not a popular tire around here, in these type of conditions where it is raining right now, that's why some of them are going for the hards. We do start our formation lap, Invade. Before we talk about the tires, you want to talk about the standings, and yeah, that's a huge diverse lineup with tires.
Instead, I'm actually going to run us down the grid, but just look at the track real quick. Puddles. It's the race to the pit lane. So we're going to start from last. Richie Chappell, 20th. Then we have Adam F13, who had a quality ban. He is in the Mercedes in 19th. Then we have Tiger, 18th, behind his teammate Button in 17th. Schumacher, 16th. Posty Lad is 15th, behind his teammate Jedi Gamer in 14th, who we have a spinner of JJ Hudson, probably. 13th we have Ham. 12th we have the sticky one himself, Sticky Ricky, making the first overtake of the race. Caught on stream anyway. Mr. Adam Moore, his teammate, 11th. Then we have Blazer Guns at 10th. Hudson, who spun 9th. Then we have Lem, 8th, second in the championship. Willy Bum, with the best name on the grid, 7th. Rapid Owen, the championship leader, in 6th. The Wet Demon himself in 5th of Horsch. Salt and Kepper in 4th. Slicks, Crash Merchant, 3rd. Geldy, the newcomer, 2nd. And the returning man in the Sauber, first full-time race back, we have Not Raz. Let's have a bit of a prediction, Ryan. Who is your prediction for the top 3?
That's just spun on information live from Pole. But anyways, yeah, I think Raz is in the best spot here for things, but I'm interested to see. You said there's puddles on the track. That's going to make it interesting, so I think it's really a big toss-up. I think our top 3 might be Raz, Salt and Kepper, and Slicks, but hey, anything can happen. It's Silverstone. It's a home race for a majority of the drivers, and 26 laps around this famous circuit. Richie Chappell, the last one getting to the grid here. And if these puddles are worse than we think it is, Mark might say intermediate tires, and I'll let you take this for the start.
Oh, give me a great camera. We're not going to get one. So, 5 lights now, and it's a jump from Slicks, and we'll go, and Slicks is going into the lead because of the jump. Salt and Kepper, great start behind him, and there is Geldy on the inside. Geldy, he's going to be overtaken by Salt with push up the inside now. Rapid Owen is also there, and Raz has actually got a big gap. Hush off the track. He's going to go down the inside. There's a lot of movements in the midfield. The Aston Martins are side by side here. Posty Lad, Adam, Schumacher, and Hammer all battling. 2x2 here. There's a lot of contact.
A lot of teammates really getting RP Bargy. Geldy down the inside of Willy Baum, almost slams his teammate. Remember, both on different strategies here. One on mediums, one on the softs. And Geldy's still looking to keep it on the inside, but he cannot get the place there. Rapido and Salt and Kepper are the next teammate battle we're looking at, but nothing changing there. Slick's going to give up the lead due to that drive-through. He's going to have to serve it in the next 3 laps. We'll see when he serves it, more likely now.
Raz has a 1 second gap here.
Both Williams getting elbows out in lap 1 as well. We have now Schumacher going through on Mr. Adam Moore at Maggots and Beckett's. Maybe let him through, but it's still a good move right there.
Blazer gets past Tiger as well. Now up to the lead. That gap is now closing. Slicks is just dropping by. He has to serve that drive through. Oh, Slicks is going to be so screwed over. Because he has to box this lap anyway.
Everybody coming in for inners. Everybody coming in for inners.
Willy Bum staying out. Willy Bum is a Hamilton situation.
Yeah, but he's not the only one, I don't think. DRS.
A lot of people
would be enabled right now. But although Willy Bum, you said in a Hamilton situation, I think a lot of drivers here in a Hamilton situation, some of them did not want to box to double stack with the teammates. Only 7 drivers went in, but one of them went in for the drive-through.
Ricky's on the podium.
Both Williams, who were down in 11th and 12th on the opening start of the lap, up to 4th and 5th now. And you see why some of those drivers started on softs now. 2.6 seconds the gap, and Tricky Ricky is going for 2nd place around the outside.
Oh my days, this will be a sexual move if he gets it done.
It would, but he had to back off right there. You could see the difference with the tires and just the grip levels. It's clearly intermediate tires, but as we said it on the formation lap, or right before the formation lap, Raz's onboard, as I saw it, showed the 7 patches we get on the 6th and 7th. Hold on, Schumacher at Cops Corner on the inside, forcing his way through and got it. Wow,
fair
that
play,
was big,
Schumacher.
And that was massive with the move he just pulled
off.
off.
Haas, he's going to go, oh my days, there's a lot of contact and buttons off.
Yeah. And I think he just clipped that incident, but nonetheless, he rejoins behind Richie Chappell. I was just going to say, Invade, The 6th and 7th patch is completely dry, so those guys in the intermediate compound is going to have to make this go till about lap 20. Collision!
Contact spawn! Oh my!
They save it!
They're not boxing. It's a Netherlands. It's a Netherlands.
Look at this. Raz already caught up to the back of Slicks, even though Slicks came in for the drive-through. Slicks, I would say, probably took, what, 3-4 seconds less of a time? Yeah, I know, but he still took less, yeah, he still took less of a time, and there you go, yeah. So he's really screwed, as you said it.
The Inters guys are in the best position, and there was a little bit of a move then. I think it was Jedi getting past Adam.
Now we can really see those gaps, by the way, with Raz and Button. That'll be the big difference. Probably our leader gap will be more important, but instead of Slicks being there from the drive-through, we now have a representable gap, and that gap is coming down 9.4 to 9.1 to Button, and that gap is continuing to
Willy Bum. He's gone. Willy Bum's gone.
And I think he's in the best position out of drivers who stayed out.
Posty lad. Sorry
there you go.
But down the old pit straight, it's going to be Posty lad.
Don't squeeze him. Okay.
Lovely.
Place contested.
Before the corner. Oh my days,
I don't remember.
Amazing.
Did DRS get enabled or not? It still is.
Yeah,
but obviously the Inters are still the better tire, as you can see from the bottom of the order. Oh! Schumacher off! Right in front of the pack!
What a save. What a save.
How did he not hit the barrier? Big questions will be asked there of how he did that. Good car control, but now his teammate Blazer was sending one on him. You saw there in the background. They still are wheel to wheel into the final set of corners. Blazer, last of the late breakers, now concedes the place.
There was a bit of contact with Ricky and Posty.
Invade. Clearly the intermediate tire is better. 6.4 seconds Hush is behind the car in front on dry tires. And Raz is under pressure from Hush. Yeah, there you go. Salt and Kepper, fastest lap, 36.9. What's the difference compared to our dry runners? 39.4 was the best lap. That's almost 3 seconds faster.
On Richie.
But see, like the drivers in the chat were saying, the pit loss is so long around this circuit. Yes, Slicks is on the back foot, but how much on the back foot will these guys be on the dry tires with the pace difference?
Oh,
those drivers, the softs are really screwed.
Tiger.
Big move.
Slicks, penalty.
That's costly. It's adding insult to injury for his poor race.
He's angry. You can tell he wouldn't have got a penalty this early, but
he's basically half a lap down if you look at the circumstance for him.
I'm expecting a DNF from Slicks in the next 10 laps.
He's got to hope it out for a safety car. If he has a similar situation to what JP had, he may be okay. The big thing for Slicks, though, is drivers like Adam, JJ Hudson, Button. Remember, they started on the softs. They're going to have to pit around halfway, but then when they pit, what do they do here? They're going to have to make an extra pit stop from some of these guys who are on the hards. Posty, Rickster, Mr. Adam Moore,
Adam is on the back of Adam Moore. As there's a pitter there. Adam Moore's also in.
Both Ferraris.
Is that Ricky? Yeah.
Both Ferraris, 10 seconds.
Ricky sped.
Oh my days. You cannot have mistakes like that happen, and he's just had that happen. Those drivers who pitted, obviously pitting a little late, realizing the dry tires were not the call to start on. Everyone forced to start on the dry tires.
Tiger
some went for inners, but clearly not all of them. Some playing catch up now.
Some friends now.
Yeah, but the thing with Slicks is he had to go for a drive-through and change tires, so he doesn't really have much friends anyway. His friend is really the gap in front. And yellow!
Posty head of Hudson.
Did Hudson have an off there? Maybe that was it, but now the gap from Willy Bum to Posty is 6 seconds.
Yeah.
Interesting enough, though, Invade, the gap from our leader to the first driver in inners is 16 seconds. And remember, they lost out by at least 25 seconds from the pit stop, so surely by lap 10, we might have a change of the lead, depending how they get through traffic.
Hush is now literally on Button. 2 OGs of the league here.
The best thing for him, Invade, is the fact that DRS is still online.
Definitely.
Look at the ERS, too.
Get the first Slicks runner here.
All of them. from 9th to 12th, still above
look at the
40%. Yeah, it's just a massive difference. Certain corners it matters more than others. DRS applied for Hush. This would be a critical move. How do you get to the traffic, especially with the drivers behind him too? Here he goes.
Around the outside. Yeah, you can just break contested later.
Easy. Yeah, no, there's just no grip. Now Raz
is gonna follow him.
Yep, they have to.
And
Button's in.
And Button's in.
I was gonna say Raz and Salt and Pepper have to make their way through the cars as much as they can compared to Hush. That will make the big difference. And we saw a place contested for third. Jedi's now up to third. Both Williams on the podium.
Wow. Wow, this is
JJ,
great.
I think just let him go. Now we're on the outside. Here's
Blazer.
Ham and Blazer. Ooh, little RG-bargy there.
Contact.
Both of them getting their elbows out. And DRS will be applied, but it'll be applied for both who are trailing Adam, who had that qualifying ban.
Yeah, definitely. Adam made up a couple of positions on the current Slicks runners as well.
But see, the big thing for people like Adam, and even though he had that qualifying ban, he's going to be on the back foot because when he pits here off of those soft tires, he's going to have to make an extra pit stop than he really needs to, or at least when he makes the pit stop,
now.
It'll be later than it should have been. Same with the whole top 8. Yeah, there you go. Yellow.
Oh, Hudson's off.
Hudson again, that's his second incident, and he's up at Cop's corner. He surely has damage.
Oh my days,
It's taking a while to get back going, but yep, right end plate. Yeah, that's costly, very costly. You said Slicks was gonna have some friends invade. I think that's because now Tiger, Button, Richie, they just pitted way too late. Slicks is not out of this for points.
On his rear.
Rapid Owen is racing with Lem, by the way. He's also racing to get by Geldy. 3-car race here for 11th.
Wow.
Although it may not matter right now, Invade. Look at this later on.
Down the inside.
Paying off.
What a move.
Wow. Great maneuver.
Lem, Hamilton-esque. Nah, he rode too much to the inside.
And while that Hush has got his way around Schumacher, who's still on those dry tires, as we mentioned it, so Schumacher is still sitting on the outside. This is compromising Raz trying to get through. Contact!
Oh my days, Raz.
He's got to get
Raz
by.
just has to be patient.
In a timely manner, he finally gets through, but that costs him at least 5/10 right there.
He's almost out of the second gap of Hush now.
There's a battle in front of these guys with Adam and him as well. Yeah, fair play. Salt got it.
Yeah, freeway battle, but Hush is now going to be involved, so it's going to make it a about 7-car battle here, because Raz and Salt.
Like we said, it matters how you get by the traffic. And that's what Hush has to manage now, that he's got by the cars that he got by with Schumacher, and now more to come. He got that gap over Raz, 7/10, but he's got to continue to build upon it. With these guys battling in front, that doesn't help the situation for Hush too much. They're just stuck in a DRS train in the wet.
It does in the same way, because when you get through him...
Oh! Into the wall! Blazer lost it! There might have been contact, but that's one car out of the way for Hush.
There was... Nah, basically, Blazer lost it in front of him, and he was going in towards Hush. Does Hush have damage from that?
Yeah, but he had nowhere to go. I feel bad for Hush. You just dropped 2 places.
He doesn't have any damage, any visible damage anyway, but he did lose 2 places.
So that might be the good thing for him, but obviously bad thing dropping 2 places. So now Raz is the lead car of the inners, trying to get by the drivers still on dries. Blazer's now in. Yeah, that's probably to repair damage, but also intermediate tires, surely.
Look at the last place, Hudson. He's back on slicks. I think he forgot to switch his tires.
Yeah, not smart there. He's gonna probably go a lap down when he does change it finally to inners. But now Raz around the outside.
Contact!
Big save. Now Adam's off. Then Adam keeps it off the wall now. That's another driver mowing the lawn. Raz now is going around Ham.
Salt round the outside.
Place contested. Salt and Kepper now.
He's going to have the exit though. Salt and Kepper.
Ham's pinching. Ham's pinching. This is going to get tight. It's going to get tight. Ooh. That got
Hush
hairy.
next. Will Hush go for it here? Please,
He has
Hush.
to. He has to try it. Compromise his line. Ooh. There you go.
Gonna
Oh,
keep it. Oh, no!
Another incident for Hush that he hadn't got to avoid there. He's off again. This time he's lost even more places. Oh, don't re-enter in front of the other car coming. Got away with that one.
3 laps in a row. 3 laps in a row. Inters and Slicks runners have had contact and Richie penalty.
Like we said, it's all about how you navigate your way through the traffic, and Hush has not had that happen go well. Oh, another driver pitting. Adam.
So unlucky for Horsch.
It's such a shame. It's such a shame.
Slicks and Button.
There's going to be a big race there. What, 3-4 horse race? Now it's really just Raz and Kepper. But is it though?
I mean, the stewards are going to have a lovely time.
Yeah. And you know what? Although Slicks has that penalty, and you said he's driving mad, with all these incidents happen, he's cheering. He was plumb
not really
last.
Gaining anything.
He's 15th. Yeah, well, with the penalty, he's not going to be right now, but at the same time,
go around the outside of
he's got to continue doing this.
The outside. Oh, he's lost a rear.
Rear lock not helping Slicks. If you're staying on the inter tire, or sorry, I meant staying on the dry tire still, like these guys have on the medium and hard tires, I've got to ask, what are you doing? You're just losing so much time. I mean, Willie Bum's situation, he has to commit to this, but everyone else, I mean, you're going to be behind Slicks. Look at the drivers who happen. I think Willie Bums could, pending when this patch of rain is supposed to get worse. Because it is supposed to be inner tires with no slight crossover. Remember that gap was what? 16 seconds last I checked with the leaders? Said they catch him by lap 10. It's 10 seconds, so it's not as big of a difference, but that has kind of mattered with how you get by the traffic and also the tires wearing. I think Slicks is hungry for a move now. He's got to go for it. He can't wait around any longer, especially with his penalty status.
He's behind both E-Cobs. Tony's just going to move over for Button. And will Slicks follow him through?
He's got to.
He's going to go down the inside.
Oh, he sent it.
Contact. But he got it.
Lucky to get away with that one.
Ricky's back in the pits. Damage, maybe?
I'm going to check that one while you continue to watch the battle here with V-Carb and Slicks.
Button's pulling away now.
Yellow. Hudson again. He's going to go a lap down before this is over. Rickster's serving his 10-second for speeding, so that's why he's in. And he might be changing inners.
Jedi.
There you go. That's crucial.
Look at this as well. Raz, 3 seconds ahead of Salt and Kepper.
So he's really taking advantage of the traffic changes and this order shuffling itself out after the collisions we've had. I just feel bad for Hush because he has not had these drivers help him at all. And there you go. His teammates out. Game over for Hudson. It's been a nightmare day, hasn't it? It's fun in qualifying twice in Brooklands. And then just, yeah, we know what happened now since then. Look at this. 4 seconds now at Salt and Kepper and Raz. It's a massive gap considering what we saw just a few laps ago.
Tony the Tiger, he's on the back of Slicks.
Now that Raz does not really have any traffic, as Salt and Kepper's in. Are these tires bearing a lot for the drivers? I have to wonder. Because we saw Rickster come in. He didn't need to come in now, but he's on dries, Rickster is. Dries aren't really better, we could see, because Raz has brought that gap down 2 seconds.
Puddles.
There is, but he's on inters, so no tire change there. Just
there's a driver off, I think.
Slicks, maybe?
Yeah,
no, Slicks is in the pits.
It was Schumacher.
Thank you, yeah. Yep, that was 5th place.
Owen
he's into the clutches of Owen, yeah. And one thing I was going to say, that although that gap's coming down with Raz. Here we go.
Ham, 3 seconds.
It's a half second, really.
He's going to have the extra grip. He's going to try and switch back, maybe.
Yeah, I'll have to get it next time, but as I was going to say, Invade, Raz's best friend is the fact that he doesn't really have any traffic after he'll get Posty here, and Posty's actually brought the gap down to Willie Bum here. So clearly the hard tires, at least in terms of grip of some extent and wear, coming in. But I'm really surprised by the matter that we've had drivers like Slicks and now Salt and Kepper, as well as Tricky Ricky, just hit on new tires where those inters wearing, and hopefully these drivers can keep their inners of the temperature and not wear too much.
Schumacher now. There we are for Owen.
Easy DRS pass right there. Adam's now in the back of Tiger. This is right before the DRS zone. Tiger, you can see the rear snapping out a bit. Adam's got all the DRS in the world, or sorry, ERS in the world with DRS applied.
Because it looks like he's going to overtake Posty.
Yep. Salt and Kepper, by the way, just got 2 and 1 in Vade. That was on the new fresh tires.
This is what Raz needed. Raz, obviously switching back to wheel after having a major break from the game. A couple of months, he returned back this season, back onto the wheel now, and he's on the back. He is leading.
He's really brought the gap down on Willie Bum as well.
Yeah, he's smashing
both of them
it.
have.
So is Posty.
Both of them.
Fair.
I think the hard tires, if you're gonna stay out at least, that was my call.
That was a great call.
Posty
Ricky,
changed what?
10 seconds. I think Ricky's gonna retire.
Not been his day. Yep, out of this. He went in the pit lane. His ERS was on 0. Haven't seen that happen in a while. But no, I was just gonna say with where with where Posty started though in Vade, he started P15. So I mean, and remember the situation with softs and all that in qualifying. I mean, yeah, it definitely is. It's gonna finish better than where he would have. Remember these yellow flags because of Rickster. If they stay out, that's gonna mean that Raz can overtake until after turn 3.
Hush
Lem.
Hush on the recovery drive here. He's the 3rd highest.
Lem's in the pits though.
Yeah.
Rep and Owen's in as well.
So yeah.
Both of them feeling like their tires are wearing. Exactly what I was saying. Remember that pit lane is further on down, so the drivers, as I saw Lem do, braking early for that slow pit entry.
Adam and Salt. You said Raz was streaming, right? Could you check his stream, see what his tire wear is on?
Yeah, I'll have to do so.
Button is also in. Button on the 6th lap old enters as well.
I really think these tires are wearing as Adam fastest lap. Now Raz lunge down the inside. Raz gets 2nd place now. 3.3 seconds, so the deficit's coming down.
We have Ham get out ahead of Lem.
Hard tires for Geldy?
Oh, that's kind of interesting. I'm really
again, it's like that crossover period though, even though their inters are slightly faster.
Raz did also get Posty, and they've closed that gap because Posty's not even getting dropped by Raz. Oh,
that's what I was saying. That was a big move. I'm very surprised that it happened there. Just a lot more confidence in the brakes for those intermediate compounds.
The puddles are still here, but the slicks aren't like dropping off the inters. If anything, the inters look worse.
Probably because the wear? I don't know. It's very weird, but as we know it, the final 2 patches, which should be what, the last 6 or so laps of the race with patch 6 and 7 invade, they were full of dry clouds. So of course that's when some of these drivers are probably preparing for dry tires. As Salt and Kepper finally clears Adam there. 1.8 seconds now, the gap for the lead, and we saw a penalty from one of the Haas drivers. That was Blazer.
Adam Moore is in.
Raz has not been showing his tires, so I can't really see things there, but I'm definitely curious on what they do look like.
Ahead of Lem and Hammer battling into the final few corners. Lem is going to push Ham wide.
No contact though, so fair racing there.
Definitely so. They're both going to get out ahead of Adam. Geldy's looking like he'll get out ahead of Adam, maybe.
And like we know it, you got to be on the right tires at the right time. That will matter. And for our lead invade, this is not close. This is not close until a change. 5/10.
Posty's not been dropped.
Yeah. So the wear from the inner is definitely making a difference. Overtake gun use for Raz. He's got 30% ERS worse than Willie Bum, so no move yet.
Willy Bum has now got something to do after cruising the whole race.
I mean, he could go for a send, but he's got to be careful
put it on him?
staying in line, Invade, because you know how this train works. The car in front, even especially on the dry tires compared to the inters here, we're braking early, so you have to time this perfect. You can't just run in the back of the driver. You also can't just send and hit him.
I don't see many puddles.
Yeah, so definitely going to be a change to the dry tires sometime soon.
As Ricky in the chat is saying, that lobby was F.
Interesting. Slick's off. Slick's contests the place, but for our lead, Willy Bum is under threat. Raz will go to the inside line. Rapid Owen still the fastest lap, and now Raz back to the lead on lap 15 of the Grand Prix.
That took a lot longer than I expected, I'm not going to lie.
I hear ya. I hear ya. But I'm still amazed that you said as well, and this is true, Posty is still staying with these guys. The hard tires, clearly, more closer to the inters than the mediums are. And we see why. I mean, mediums wear quicker, and everyone just really on the edge right here coming through Cop's Corner. You almost all three of those drivers losing it, but we keep it on the track once again.
As we've got Posty all over the back of Willy Bum. Full battery. No, he's in.
Destroying the bollards for good measure. Yeah.
No money for Silverstone.
Nope, not at all. That is the Sailforce sign going to sail. Rapid Owen. You got there before me. DRS applied, luckily. For one, not two.
And he's going to breeze past by.
That squeeze from Adam didn't really matter. Our championship leader gets the place.
The Division 3 champion from last season, he's always going to pull up a fight no matter what. He's no pushover.
And by the way, Invade, Willy Bum, regardless of the mistake from Posty, both these guys, second and third, still in DRS pursuit here.
And you've just jinxed it because he's now lost it.
But he had DRS down the straight. So, we'll see. I'm sure that'll change by the hangar straight.
As Owen is on the back of his teammate. Obviously, these two are not full-time teammates. Owen's a reserve. I wonder when he will burn to pass Salt and Kepper. Obviously, Salt and Kepper just ran over.
Willy Bum just had a mistake. Posty and Maggots and Beckett's invade. Here we go. Wheel to wheel. Posty nudges ahead. Unbelievable maneuver.
What a move, especially with those tires in this condition.
Right on the edge. Oh, Willy Bum almost lost it. You see why he's on the edge. Well, both those drivers have been on the edge, but Posty wanted it more, and he got it.
Look at Jedi and Schumacher. They're not being caught by Hush at all. If anything, they're actually pulling.
And I'm surprised the strategy from the drivers in the dries has really been the way it has.
I'm expecting those Inters runners to box anytime.
We have a trade. The Aston Martin drivers. Yep.
Similar ERS. They're just going to work together now.
They have to. They have no other choice. They're the third and fourth place cars in the inners. We would have said net P3 and net P4, but that's not true though, is it?
No, it's not, because those dry tires guys are not to be counted out anymore.
Well, we have a trade for 14th and 15th, a swap between a Racing Bull and a Red Bull. Yeah, I really am amazed the dry tire strategy from these drivers have worked out better than anticipated, Invade, because a lot of those guys gave up on that strategy lap 6, lap 7, very late on. But you never know, it could have worked out like it has for these guys 2nd through 5th. And let me just tell you where they started. P15 for Posty, P7 for Willy Bum, P14 for Jedi, and P16 for Schumacher. Although this is Lem gets Blazer. I was just going to say, although this is not dry conditions entirely, and the same circumstances, this is JP-esque, like, stuff from the Div 1 race. JP, down and out of it, no man's land, was nowhere. And look at where he finished with the late safety car. Instead of the late safety car, this is the gamble of staying out on dry tires. And I'm sure they're putting themselves in the position to pit for dry tires and probably better tires when this is supposed to dry up by the
Owen,
6th and 7th
push.
patch. Not far from now, and there you go. That's big.
Around the outside for Owen.
Jedi's in.
Jedi. He's in now.
I'm expecting this to be dry
3
tires.
seconds for
Salt.
Salt.
It's costly. Very costly error.
I'm
I'm expecting this to be dry tires. Yeah, I am too. Adam, 10 seconds.
There's mediums there for the Alpine team.
Remember, because this is I think this is technically a declared wet race. I think they could still go the same compound, but I'm not entirely sure. Mediums for Hush. And that 10-second for Adam is going to be very costly. Yeah, that makes sense.
Adam, softs. Oh, Adam
Remember,
got a 10.
He did. Adam got a 10. So our second place man, not second place man. Our 5th place man in the championship, his teammate second. Very costly there.
Definitely so.
3.3 seconds with our leaders. I don't think they're far from really being level with Raz. I think that gap is starting to come down ever so slightly.
As Posty just dropped Willy Bum. Willy Bum will have the dosage of DRS though. He just got it.
Yep, stayed within it in that detection point. A detection point right in the middle of the starter maggots and packets. Place changing for 13th and 12th. I think that was Button getting back by Hush. I guess you could say the inners feel like inner slicks for those on him. If you remember 2020 Turkey.
Posty lad in.
I think he needed that, but is it too early though? Remember, he's on hards. Drivers on medium still staying out except for Schumacher now in. Posty's on mediums. Interesting call there.
Adam
We'll
also
see if this pays off.
Ham in that last lap. Salt and Kepper in.
So, of the Aston drivers, Salt and Keppa blinking first. Rapid Owen getting ahead of Posty out of the pit lane. I'm sure there will be someone else too. I think Lem is close to edging out ahead of Schumacher. Yeah, look at Schumacher, not Posty.
Yeah, easy. Schumacher might come out behind that McLaren there if the Ham.
And Hush is still not got by Button here. With the tire difference.
Guys are not up yet.
Schumacher slots in behind Ham. Salt and Kepper slotting in behind Button and Hush and Jaldi.
Bush is now starting to pull that gap down, 2 tenths there. Now he's going to lose a bit more.
Just a mix of different races here, folks. Mediums still staying out for Willie. I know. It's so weird. And like I said, this race will be a matter of who's in the right tire at the right time, and we were right about that one for sure. We don't know what tire it is, like you said. Yeah. We also have technically 5 different races because Willie Bum is still staying out here. Our leader is in.
Raz is in.
This is very interesting because he pitted on the first lap to go to these tires and was probably the only driver trying to navigate traffic who did not have any trouble in his way. What tire is he going to?
Softs.
There you go. But he's going to cost himself the time of simply... Oh, yellow. Slicks. In the gravel.
You know what? He survived longer than I expected him to. So,
fair play, Slicks. Yeah, well, I must say, Willie will have to pit here because if this was not declared a wet race, then, well, he's still going to be accounted for a pit stop. However, the time loss is massive here. If the inner tire is going to be what it is, I mean, Rapid Owen is in perfect position to steal one here, and we didn't expect him to do so.
Definitely.
Yellow. Slicks. That's on track. Safety car. Willie Bum gets a cheap free pit stop from that crash. Oh my days.
You can tell what happened with Slicks. He's gone into the pit lane. He's hit the pit wall somehow. I don't know how, but it's Slicks and his car's been reset.
Oh! 2 drive-throughs. Adam and Salt and Kepper both.
Richie is in.
Willie Bum surely has to pit.
Willie Bum's been gifted.
Yes, because if this was not declared a wet race, even though it has been raining, they also are on the dry tires, meaning it's probably not declared a wet race, so he has to pit here. And he's going to choose his option wisely, wait it out, and he will pit now. So, this is perfect.
Everyone to box who hasn't.
Rapid Owen now has a choice to make. He will come in.
He's definitely boxing.
I think Raz has been given a little bit of a advantage here if he stays out. Yes, it's yes, it's a safety car, so the time here does change in terms of the time you gain, but he won't be on the back foot so much.
Might be behind Owen. No, he won't.
No. No, but it'll be a race out of the pit lane with Willie Bum. Look at this. Collision! 10-second. That's entering the pit lane with Blazer. Blazer got a 10-second as well. I think he had 2 10-seconds maybe. 23 seconds of Penzie's got now.
In the grass. He was in the grass.
Blazer's out. And
He's
Willie Bum
no. Lucky enough,
slots in behind Raz. Raz is taking the lead under the safety car, regardless of Willie Bum getting a little bit of help with that safety car. It's still a wet track, but with that being said, Button and Mr. Adam Moore on some very risky strategies, and they can win out big if this is the right call. If it's not, then everyone on the dry tires, they're at the advantage. However, those drive-thrus for Sultan Kepper and Adam are super big for our championship race later on in the season.
I think Lem might be able to get that penalty removed, depending on the situation. Obviously, I didn't see it. Dan's just described this race perfectly. Chaos.
Yeah, everyone's going into shambles, and well, if you want to win your home race, you might have to get through some trouble. We've had drivers make, I think, up to 4 pit stops. Sultan Kepper, specifically, I'm looking at you. Holy cow, this has been crazy. 3 pit stops from Rapid Owen, only 1 from Jedi, Schumacher, and Willie, and they took the gamble. And honestly, whether they finish here or not, they're going to put themselves higher chance of finishing up in the top 5 than they had prior. So I give fair credit to them whether they finish here or not. And this is another late safety car, but you know, when the safety car came in for the Div 1 race in Vade, that was what, 5-7 ago? This is going to be later than that.
Adam Moore on the Inters, same with Button. This risk could actually pay off. Obviously, it said on the thingy at the start, before the formation lap, that it'll be dry at the end, but there's still small puddles.
Yeah, I was just talking about that before you brought it up.
Get this.
But, I mean, the problem in Vade, just like Hush and Raz had, you still have to negotiate your way through the traffic. That's going to be a big factor. How do they do that? And, well, they really need that grip to matter, because the safety car restart we're getting here is going to be, what, 4-3 to go? So, not really in the best spot, though, are they? They might get some positions, but not many. They just got to hope for the chaos to continue. And with how this race has gone, who knows what can happen. It's all up in the air. Folks, I just want to remind you all, we have still more RSF1 stuff to come. And look at that. They just passed a safety car. There's a little glitch here. Safety cars let them go by. What's going on here?
So weird.
Well, if the adrenaline has already not been enough, here we go again. Safety car has let him go. And obviously, it's a 15-second wait before anyone gets a penalty or disqualified, and no one's been disqualified from it. So, the safety car, this is similar to what, Miami 2024 in real life? It's just allowing them to go through, and the top 13 drivers have gone through on the safety car. Well, Tiger doesn't want to go by it. Tiger does now, but it's just a very, very awkward situation here. And you know what that's going to mean? It's going to mean less laps for Mr. Adam Moore and Button to try to get through here. You mentioned the puddles. I don't see as many now. So I think they're going to be really on a weird situation here. This is already a weird situation in itself, but yeah, doesn't help Richie catch up to the safety car, that's for sure.
Yeah,
this is a very weird situation. under the safety car button back into the pit lane, and he will probably elect to get off those intermediate tires. Mr. Adam Moore is going to stick with this strategy, but with the safety car glitch we've just had happen is the safety car is sitting out of, well, right before our old start-finish straight. I really do wonder... We're going to get, what, a free-to-go shootout?
Just wanted a break. That's all it were.
Yeah.
He just
We're going to get a free-to-go shootout, though, Invade, so... I mean, Mr. Adam Moore, he's had to commit to this. He said no other choice, but he's going to be the one hampered from this, because I don't see any more puddles at all. It's going to be dry tires to the end here, as we expected. Later than expected, but still. Hopefully that safety car gets back going, but yeah, it's...
This doesn't really help Jedi. Yeah. Well, actually, it does really help Jedi. I guess he's on the older softs.
It does help him, but, I mean... Yeah, very, very weird situation here in Silverstone, folks, but a reminder that we have Div 3 tomorrow for RSF1. Same time as our Div 2 and Div 1 races, we will see who wins that one. But next week we go to a mystery circuit, which, again, like you said, might be revealed an hour before, while in the lobby, whatever the scenarios are there. But after a mystery round, we'll be in Portimao for round 6, I believe, of the season. So, folks, we still have a lot of action here for RSF1. Tune in then, but... with the safety car not going in now, this will either be 1, a late call, or 2, a 2-to-go restart coming up. Meaning we get DRS only enabled on the final lap. So this is a very, very... No, it won't. This is a very weird situation for sure. And Richie will get to catch up. Good for him, but he has the penalty. Mr. Adam Moore... he's going to say, look, I was going to commit to this strategy, but with my current situation, I have no other choice but to come in. And I think he's actually not in a bad spot to get points here, Invade, because Lem is a 10-second, Ham is a 3, 2 drive-thrus, and Richie 3 seconds. So he still could get points from this by going onto the soft tires and I'll have the freshest tires.
Those drive-thrus, they have to serve it straight away because they can't wait the whole 3 laps or they get DQ'd. Lem will probably get the 10-second remove, possibly. It was a collision. Who knows? We'll have to wait for stewards for that.
And you said the stewards will have a busy time.
Definitely will.
Adam Moore is going to slot in behind Richie Chappell. But at the same time, he's still not in a bad spot penalty-wise. And everything here in these final 2 laps will erupt into chaos. A safety car out a lap later than we wanted it to be and expected it to be too. But
you know what's quite strange
that was
about
a weird
this? Salt and Keppers on the hearts.
Yeah. I mean, it's not going to matter now with the drive-thrus, but that was a weird way to go about things. And Richie Chappell has just given Mr. Adam Moore a little, friendly Christmas present, I guess you could say, early Christmas present here in March. I guess you could say a late St. Patrick's Day gift by letting him buy out of the safety car. He went off the racing line, went off the track, and let Mr. Adam Moore go. Richie Chappell knows his situation. 3 seconds for him. Really not his fight. But we will have the safety car in this time to go shootout. And this is going to be quite a chaotic one, as if it already hasn't been.
Definitely will be, and I can't wait to see what will happen.
Safe to say, Raz and Willie Bum, they've been the 2 in control here. But will that change?
And just to quickly before the safety car starts, look at the top 6's gained positions.
Yeah.
Raz started from pole, Willie Bum up 5, Owen up 3, Jedi up 10, Schumacher up 11, and Posty up 9.
It's gonna be safe to say we're gonna have a hard choice for a driver of the day here if we do choose one. But my word, interviews after this one will be one to watch, no doubt about it. Not Raz, of course, leading our safety car restart. When does he smash the gas? That's going to be the big question. He's waiting, of course, probably until the final chicane or probably until out of it. And then we'll get this thing back going. He's above the pit lane speed, so he's perfectly fine in terms of his speed control on this restart. And he'll put the pedal to the metal once again. Back to the restart. 2 to go in Silverstone.
Posty's all over the back of Schumacher here. Posty's going to send it down the inside. He's going to go right down the inside. Geldy.
Lunge with Geldy on Salt and Kepper and Adam. There's an off. That's a Mercedes. That's Lem. So even if he wanted the 10-second removed and bait, he's going to fall to outside the points.
Tiger and Button are battling.
Everyone's just having their overtake button on down the Wellington Straight.
The top 7 stay still. They're about to break DRS, and it's going to be a 7-car train for the end.
Both V-Carbs getting elbows out. You don't like to see that as a team principal. Luckily, though, it's outside the points. You just forced Mr. Adam Moore off the road, Tiger did. That was very tight.
Adam and Lem's going to look at it, but he's not going to go for it. Smart play.
Well, although Willie Bum is not too close to Raz, he's still within DRS pursuit and will enable DRS next time by. And that's vital in terms of points positions later on and how things will shuffle out after we all cross the line next time by. 27% for Willie Bum, 50% for the Sauber of Raz, and 57% for championship leader Owen. And off the circuit right there was Schumacher.
Geldy penalty as well in the points.
It's all kicking off. Some cars into the pit lane there. That's for drive-thrus. Salt and Kepper and Adam. Final lap. Raz leads, and Schumacher there is getting defensive for 5th.
Posty's going to send it here.
Here he goes. Lunge down the inside. Wheel-to-wheel action.
And
Close
Schumacher
quarter racing out of 4.
Switchback.
Posty doesn't get the
it?
switchback. And Willie Bum
Raz
does not have DRS. Rapid Owen does.
Owen was looking at it. Posty also looking at it.
Retirement, Salt and Kepper. That's another race out to the points. 2 in a row. Adam as well. 1.2 is the gap. I think not Raz here. From pole position, it didn't look to be his race at first. Maybe it did with the intermediate tires and everything, but he's going to be able to be smooth sailing and come home for maybe a victory here. Just got to hope for everything to go right here in this last sector. Big battle for second.
Owen all over the back of him.
Here he goes already.
Jedi. Is Jedi
further behind.
Posty.
Schumacher and Posty. They're not done.
Jedi down the inside. No.
Not Raz. Made that change from
Jedi
controller
down
to
the
wheel.
outside.
And a move for third does not happen, but it looked to be Raz from pole to victory in Silverstone. The change he needed happened, and it brought him to victory. Rapid Owen second, Willie Bum third. But how about Jedi and Schumacher, who started outside of the top 13, getting better finishes than anticipated? Although they won't get the interview, they deserve a lot of credit for that. And the game gives Button driver of the day.
Let's have a look. And we'll go through the running order.
The Danish driver wins the race, and we'll get to spray the champagne. Podium celebrations underway, and obviously you see the results on our screen with Raz, Rapid Owen, Willie Bum. I mean, even Posty started 15th there, getting a P6 finish in the end.
So just to run us through our results here, we have Raz who won the race from Owen, Willie Bum, Jedi, Schumacher, Posty, Hush, LA Ham, Button, Geldy running out our top 10. Then outside the top 10 we have Adam Moore, Tiger, Richie, Lem, Adam, Salt, and then Adam, Salt, and then Blazer DNF, Slicks DNF, Ricky DNF, Hudson DNF. And I'm going to invite the top 3 in.
Our only drivers in the top 6 in the championship who finished in the points were Rapid Owen and Hush, who finished 2nd and 7th. So a big race for our championship challenge continuing on. Rapid Owen, our championship leader, extending the lead. Hush will gain some places, not as much as he would have wanted to. But Adam and even Lem.
Well done. Well done.
Good job, guys.
Ryan, you can take 3 and 1, and I'll take 2.
Alrighty.
If you want.
Yeah, why not? So we'll
Alright.
start with our third place finisher, Willie Bum, if I'm correct.
Before you start, everyone, make sure you tick the box.
Yeah, done it.
Yeah, audio included, or we'll have you personally executed. We don't want that though. But either way, Willie Bum, third place on home soil. I'm sure you would have wanted that second place with the last lap move there with Rapido, but you definitely played your cards right in terms of getting maybe a better finish than you would have anticipated. You stayed out. You had to go with it. Talk me through your race and talk me through the battles you had and just trying to keep the grip up there on your tires.
Yeah, I saw everyone pit. I thought I'd take another lap, just to see how they were. Then I had to wait another lap to see how fast they were going on their inters, and then I was looking at the dots on the map, and they were just too far ahead. They were gaining too much, so I thought if I just stay out front, try and pull a gap, I could hope the weather dries up a bit quicker than it did.
Yeah, it definitely helped you and the drivers who finished 4th, 5th, and 6th. But at the same time, are you happy with where you finished, or do you feel like there was more in the tank from this race today?
Yeah, I'm happy with it. I mean, Raz had a rocket up his ass today.
And
And Owen's just rapid anyway.
yeah,
So I there was no way I was staying. I was even gonna battle them in the dry, in the wet maybe, but not the dry. They were just.
yeah. I've got two last questions for you before we send it to our second place finisher. How were the tires in terms of trying to get to the end of the race and trying to stay out as long as you did? And what were you thinking when that safety car came out before the finish?
Tires were right until I didn't a lot. Safety car, didn't want it to come out. Obviously, it close bunches to build together, and I knew I had a pretty decent gap to probably fourth. But either way, I was probably getting third. So yeah, tires were right. To be fair, they obviously weren't as quick as the inters, but yeah, I pushed a decent enough gap.
Hey, take what you can, as always, they say, right? Well, congratulations, though, on your third place finish and a podium on
Yes.
home soil. And I'll
Well
give
done,
it to
guys.
you and Vade to go with Rapido, and now our championship leader, extending his gap once again.
Owen, obviously, fantastic result. Played your cards perfectly.
Thank you.
Take us through your thoughts of that race then.
Yeah, well, it was quite a chaotic one, I won't lie. Especially at the start when it wouldn't let us change our tyres from hards to inters, so had to double stack at the start, which wasn't great. Ended up in P20 and just kept my head down, tried to stay out of like collisions and stuff because a lot of people were like going off a lot, which I'm sure the stewards will be having a fun night. But apart from that, my race was quite lonely, to be honest. I was usually just a couple seconds behind the pack, and then I'd catch up and they'd all pit, so I didn't really have much to do until the last couple laps, where I luckily got past Willie Bum on the final lap. But yeah, it wasn't but yeah, Raz was on a different level today, that's for sure. It was good overall.
Definitely. So, and how do you feel, obviously, extending that championship being a reserve?
Yeah, I'm quite surprised, to be honest, considering how much slower than I was before. Obviously, taking a massive break and coming back, and obviously not being the quickest anymore. But I'm still improving, so I'm getting there consistency-wise for like the races. Qualifying still I'm not great at still, so need to work on that. But I'm really happy with gaining an extra 18 points on Lem, that's for sure.
Definitely. So, and for next week, the mystery round, how are you feeling for that? If you obviously get a seat.
Not great because I have no setup, so I did, but obviously my file corrupted, so I've got to go get some setups for all the tracks just to make sure. But I'm sure I'll be fine.
Alright, and a final congratulations.
Thank you very
Ryan,
much.
anything you want to add on to that?
No, I just want to say congrats and on the home podium and the podium in general.
Thank you.
And I do want to say you're probably the hottest driver in the market right now with your status reserve and leading the championship. I mean, how often do you see that? No matter the league.
Not very often.
Not very often. Fair
Well,
play.
thank you
Congrats.
anyway for streaming.
Yeah, no problem, you guys.
Have a good week.
And we'll move on to Raz if he's here.
Rez, hello. There we go. All right, perfect. Well, congrats on the win. First off, must say, the change you made, as far as I was aware, what was it? Controller to wheel, right? Right. So regardless, the change
Raz,
you
if you
made.
tick that box, by the way. Could you tick it and can you retick it quickly?
Let's see.
No, I don't hear you.
Try to untick it and retick it. See if that works. And then speak. Once you do that,
How about now?
invade.
Yeah, there you are.
Alrighty,
Sorry.
perfect. Yeah, so I mean, regardless, you made the change with wheels at
Yeah.
least, and of course it paid off. But your race was a bit, I don't know. I want to say up and down because you didn't know how it was going to all pay out. We expected the drivers who pitted to Inters to, I guess, take the lead by lap 10, lap 12 maybe, and that didn't happen right away from you. You obviously started on a pole, was the first to pit. You were in that train of cars who were on Inters, and well, we could definitely say it was tough for you guys to navigate through there. You had your competitors have trouble, and you definitely needed to keep it on the track, and you did the right thing. But also, it was never guaranteed that you'd be able to still win the race with everything going on around you. And you got the late safety car as well. What were you thinking with all the strategies and all the different things going on at once, trying to control your mind and make sure you were still in control of things, whether it be for the lead or for a position? It didn't matter where it was. You still had to keep your car on the road, and you did that, and keep your mind in control, and you clearly did that and won the race. How was that all kind of going through your head throughout the race with what was going on? Because there was so much going on.
Yeah, one word to summarize it all, I'd say stressful, indeed. Because even from just saying the formation lap, I could definitely tell by the first few corners that it was definitely not in the correct conditions for slicks. So obviously it's a big gamble, because when we saw our strategy, everyone only had dries to pick from. So it was a big decision to make. I would say thankfully it worked out, but I had to work my ass off to get up there. Had some good battles with Owen and Hutch, I believe his name was. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I believe so, yeah.
We fought pretty nicely through the field together, fair and clean. So hats off to at least Owen as well, because he managed to keep up for most of it. And then I had to catch Willie, which I saw the gap and I was like, well, fuck. Excuse my language, but he was far away, and I at that moment I was like, I'm not gonna get it. And I kept seeing the gap go down. I think there was a point where it was like a second and a half a lap, and then a second, and then so it kind of kept switching. Meanwhile, my tires were absolutely boiling. Like rear tires were at least 110 degrees from most of the race. Then my front started to go as well, temperature-wise, and then when I pitted for softs, I was at 78% on the rears. The rear left, at least. So the fact that I could keep up, even with that tire wear, obviously I didn't know what they were running at the end. And then the safety car, I thought that was it. I thought I lost it, but I just about scraped it past Willie. But I gotta say, hats off to him as well. He drove amazing. It was very great driving.
Yeah, it was definitely a race of management, no doubt about it. And a lot to think about, whether it was the conditions, the tires, the cars you had to pass. And that's the one thing I want to ask you about. Hush, you mentioned him in the battle. He had a tougher time passing the cars, and really no fault of his own. But how did you find it passing the cars on dry tires on the intermediate tires? Because we know, whether it be the bumps around the circuit, you got to keep yourself with racing lines. So, some of the drivers may force you to go the long way around, or vice versa. And another thing to consider as well is that, you're in some of these DRS trains, you're in some of these fights, whether DRS is enabled or not, which I was very surprised it was. You still have to make sure, when being on these better tires, which it seemed to be the better tire for most of the race at least, you had to make sure not to run in the back of these drivers when trying to pass them. How did you feel it was when trying to pass the drivers that you were having to get through in order to get to the lead on lap 15?
I'd say, I mean, it's basically what I've always felt about this league. This league is amazing. People drive clean mostly. Hadn't really have any issues with people not giving space, and then people know when to actually give up and say like, "Oh, well, this is not my fight, so there's no point of going
Right.
to defend this." I had a close encounter with Schumacher at one point in turn 3 or 4 onto the main straight, where I kind of passed him into was that turn 3, and then I thought that was job done, but then he came right back at me and actually broke kind of late, so he hit me, and I thought, well, that's it. Because it's very important to actually stay within the DRS as well, because that was still enabled, and obviously, as I think that happened with Owen at some point as well. As soon as you get out of the DRS and you get clean air, then it's impossible to actually keep up when you have traffic to deal with as well.
Yeah. Well, I got to ask a similar question Invade asked to Owen. We have a mystery round coming up. We don't know what that could be. Whether that be, I don't know, a circuit as bad as Monaco, maybe, or good as Monaco, as some people would say, or just a different circuit that could throw people off, or maybe not. Regardless, that's the mystery round coming up where we don't know what it is. And I must ask, this is your first race back, I believe, from what I was told. What are you expecting then for the rest of the season? Are you expecting to maybe make that random challenge in the championship that we may have not expected, or are you just expecting to have fun for the rest of the season and try to bang out as many race wins or podiums or whatever it may be possible? Because you did really show today you have the pace and, well, you won the race.
Yeah, I mean, people who know me, I've been in, I think it was 2 seasons ago, I was in F3 with AP and all the other guys. Red Penrose was there as well. And back then I had loads of issues with either my internet not working correctly or my previous wheel at that point also just kept not working. And I had amazing pace back then as well, but I just kept losing a lot of
Right.
great results or potentially even victories due to issues. So the fact that I can actually now keep driving with not having a fear of either my game crashing or getting kicked out or my wheel not working, is obviously is a massive relief. And then I can actually show my pace now. Some people might not actually want me here, but yeah, that's just what I is in Div 2 at least. But these are great guys. I respect them a lot. And on to the next race. Anything can happen. For the love of God, don't be Monaco. And if it is, then yeah, I'd say.
Well, I just gotta remind you guys it's possible.
Well, that's awful.
Never say never, right?
But actually, I don't mind it. Actually, it puts everyone at an even spot. No one knows what we're getting, so it's a bit of an unknown for everyone. Best you could do is just practice for every race, but who actually wants to do that?
You're right. No, nonetheless, congratulations on the victory, and a non-British driver winning at the British Grand Prix. Didn't expect that with a lot of the drivers we have, but it's always nice to have that upset. So, nope, congratulations nonetheless.
Appreciate that.
Invade, any final thoughts from tonight's event?
All I've got to say is, Raz, I told you in the party before you'd win, and what did I tell you? You win.
There you go.
Look, you're not the only one to say it, actually. You're not the only one to say that I should have won today.
Yeah.
So there must be something to it. The whoever made the predictions on the TikTok, glad to say that you're wrong.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was Slicks.
Penrose actually made a comment on the TikTok as well, saying that he was rooting for me, and I promised him to actually deliver on it. So yeah, his turn to deliver now.
Oh, that's great. Anyways, that's been Division 2 Silverstone. I've been Invade, he's been Ryan, and great stream. Congrats to our top 3, and tune in again tomorrow on stream with Ricky and Adam for Div 3.